Okay, with that said, I'd like to introduce Representative Newman, and he will then we'll have a few words from Representative White.
All right. Can everyone hear me? All right, great. Thank you all for coming. This is a fantastic opportunity to come together, introduce ourselves, and realize that there are many jobs out there. And the important thing is that our youth knows that there's many jobs out there and that there's a hope for them, that they'll be able to be employed, but most importantly, they'll be able to be employed right here in Washington County. I talk to a lot, it's mostly grandparents, I talk to a lot of grandparents that one of their biggest complaints is their grandchildren have to move away to find jobs. Well, we want to end that perception and let them know, let our youth know, let our schools know that there's a lot of jobs here that are viable for careers for our youth. There's no secret, Washington County is a booming county, the third largest growth in job growth in the country of every other county. Cranberry was in the top 10 as well, Butler County. Washington County was third in the country. I keep telling my friends from Allegheny County that Pittsburgh's going to be the suburb of South Point soon, and that is a great thing. So we are happy and excited to be here today. Thank you for coming. The other thing is we're trying to overcome a perception that everybody needs a four-year degree. I am a firm believer in secondary education, but that doesn't necessarily mean a four-year college degree. So we want to inform our youth that there are jobs out there. If you get a secondary education, there are careers, not just jobs, careers that are family sustaining and will keep you here locally. You may not incur as much debt as if you would if you go to a four-year degree, get a four-year degree. There's no secret here that there's also a shortage of laborers in western Pennsylvania. And I was actually speaking with somebody today about outsourcing jobs. And that doesn't, for me, I'm a representative in Washington County. Outsourcing jobs means anybody from outside of Washington County comes in and gets a job, not necessarily outside the country. So we want to make sure that the jobs in Washington County go to people from Washington County, or at least Pennsylvania. So we want to make everybody aware of what jobs are out there and the best way to get those jobs.
Morning, everybody. First, to echo what Brandon said, we definitely love going into the schools. I'm going to be spending all day tomorrow speaking to every 12th grade civics class at Camden Hill High School. I'm going to be there from early in the morning until the end of the day. So for any of the counselors out there, we love going in and having a very kind of open and interactive, open-minded discussion. If any of you are interested in that, let us know, and we'd be more than happy to come in and do that. I think it's really an important thing to do. I got elected a little under 5 years ago. And at the time, when I was running, one of the things we talked about is we need to keep jobs. We need to jobs for our young people, how to keep them here. And because that was something that was a big issue at the time. The problem was we had no really idea how to do it at the time. There weren't, the opportunities really weren't there. And then about 2 weeks after I took office, we started getting phone calls and we started hearing things. And when they call it a Marcellus boom, they weren't kidding. It really did kind of just jump up and transform this county and this region in a way that I still think, because we're so much in the middle of it, we won't be able to really realize until we've had a chance to look back after the fact. But it's probably the most transformative thing to happen in this region in at least the last 50 years. I think without any question. And with that has come a host of all sorts of policy and political and economic issues that we have to deal with that we never have had to deal with before. And sometimes we agree on things and sometimes we disagree on things. And in Harrisburg, it went from even a year and a half ago, no one really knew what that Marcellus was. It was just kind of a catchphrase. To now it is the dominant issue in Pennsylvania politics. That's all we talk about it. So it really is it's that big of a deal. And it's an even bigger deal here in Washington County because not only do we have a very rich property area for landowners, so there's a lot of the business going on, we were also blessed because of the economic development opportunities in places like South Point to have a lot of the industry located here as well. So we're unique in that we not only have the activity on the drilling side, but we also have the corporate end of it by having all the companies who are here today having a presence right here in Washington County. We're solely unique in that regard. So we have not just the jobs in the field, but we have the jobs in the offices and in the community. And so now we're in a position where 5 years ago we didn't know where the jobs would come from. Now we know where we can find jobs. And it's just a matter of linking people together and figuring out what are the skill sets that they need, and then how do we, in the public sector, get our kids and our students ready to go out and get those jobs. And I think that when we talk about Marcellus Shale policy, the one thing I think we can all agree on is we want to keep Pennsylvania jobs in Pennsylvania for Pennsylvanians. I'm 33 years old, Brandon's almost 30. Our generation, if we want to go see a lot of our friends, we've got to go to North Carolina, to Northern Virginia, to Washington, D.C., to Colorado. Our goal is to make sure for this crop of kids coming up now, this next generation, that if they want to be with their friends, they don't have to go any farther than the next town over. We want to keep them here.
Career act as an intermediary. We're not producing the jobs. We want to match people to those jobs. So how are we going to do that? We need a better understanding. I know EQT, 2 years ago we had Recovery Act money. They actually took some of our kids in Greene County on work experience opportunities so that they just had a little bit of an opportunity to see what the industry is all about. The Alpha Natural Coal took one of our interns. He's now working full-time there. We do on-the-job training contracts with Consol for entry-level coal miners to get their foot in the door.
Includes hydraulics and a number of other higher order skills. It's like it's like an industrial program, an industrial systems program on steroids. And by the way, we don't mind if our students go on college. We don't want to go on 2 years, 4 years. We think we're some people refer to us as an alternate track. We think we're the preferable track because it's all job-based. Guys go to college, they graduate. The first time they think about getting a job is after they graduate. Ours is called job-based from day one. Mechatronics, by the way, if you're curious, there are, I believe, surveys in the room that went out of all our manufacturers.
We have around Western Pennsylvania. And then the fifth lesson about careers, obviously, you've talked a lot about that. You've seen the list of all the different opportunities and careers. And by the way, I'm also a parent of 2 young adult and children, and they are employed, thankfully. But when I look at the amount of debt that I have and that they have, there's a compelling case for coming to places like Joe has here, and the things that they can do for folks to set them up economically for the rest of their lives. So, as Junior Achievement, we're the bridge between business and education, but we try to promote all levels of economic success for students, and that's what we talk about throughout our curriculum, is how young people can be successful, and try to get the light bulbs that turn on between